After posting this TikTok on my account, there was lots of arguing about Akaza's placement above Gyomei on my list. Many people remarked that Gyomei would blitz Akaza with no difficulty, and that my placement of Akaza was nonsensical. Then we had this guy. Anyways, regardless of what you think at this point in the video, there are two ends of the spectrum that are completely wrong. The first is Gyomei beats Akaza with 0 to low difficulty, and the other being Akaza beats Gyomei with 0 to low difficulty. If you think any of these things, you probably read Demon Slayer upside down, or since Gyomei or Akaza is your favorite character, you have a bias towards them. With that, I'll be explaining why this fight will be Akaza's for the taking. First off, it's important for us to establish some hard facts in the Demon Slayer universe. Firstly, due to the nature of demons, they are more durable, have more endurance, and are much stronger than humans. Secondly, breathing styles allow the user to enhance their own strength, speed, and durability for as long as the user can maintain it. Thirdly, sun breathing is the most effective breathing technique as it was the original technique. And fourthly, to defeat the demon, you must A. decapitate them with a Nichiren sword, or B. expose them to the sun. That being said, let's look at who out of the two are better at the key areas of fighting. We'll get the easy one out of the way first with durability and endurance. It's obvious to say that Akaza takes this category considering rule number 1. If you disagree, remember that rule number 2 does not negate rule number 1 due to the last part, as long as the user can maintain it. Because of human nature, no Demon Slayer can use breathing techniques forever since it takes a toll on their bodies. On the other hand, demons, especially those in the upper moon rank, can continuously regenerate and fight at the top level. Concerning Akaza, during his fight with Rengoku, we see the sheer speed of his regeneration to the point that he doesn't deem it necessary to dodge, since he can grow back limbs faster than a lizard can grow back their tail. For the next category, we have strength, and I've seen a lot of people give this one to Gyomei, but I have to strongly disagree. The common presupposition is that Upper Moon 1 states the following along with other commentary. Now this certainly shows how powerful Gyomei is, however, this is only amongst swordsmen of the last 300 years. Kokushibo specifically does not include demons in this criteria because strength-wise, Gyomei simply is not of that level. Gyomei does demonstrate his strength through the weaponry he uses and his body composition, but other than these three things, there isn't much more he does to show his strength. The decapitation of Upper Moon 1 is not something that only he could do. If we change the roles of Gyomei and Sanemi in that fight, Sanemi would have been the one to decapitate Upper Moon 1, thus this is not something solely unique to Gyomei, and cannot be used as an example of why his strength stands out. Regarding Akaza, I think many people forget his background and his status as a demon child in his human life. As an 11-year-old, Akaza was extremely powerful, beating 7 adults with his bare fists on one occasion. The show of strength wouldn't stop there, as he would go on to slaughter 67 skilled fighters with his bare fists in his unbridled rage when he was just 18. The narration stated that the record was so absurd and preposterous, it was regarded as a fictitious tale for 30 years before being erased. This is a clear example of Akaza's strength in human form, making him appear even more formidable. The commotion Akaza causes is said to have been mistaken for a demon. Of course, this does not mean that Akaza was as strong as a demon, although one could actually argue that he displayed the same strength as a lesser demon, but rather his strength had transcended human understanding or reason. Now concerning his demon form, Akaza again displays his strength by being the only Upper Moon who uses martial arts when fighting. As we see in his fights, this does make him more susceptible to sword slashes, however, as I also mentioned before, this is not an issue because of his regeneration ability. Akaza, because of his fighting style, must use his fists and feet to attack, which can cause devastating damage. During his fight with Rengoku, he turns him into a donut, and during his fight with Tanjiro and Giyu, he kicks Giyu through multiple walls like a football, rendering Giyu out of commission for a short period. Tanjiro also states how he could have died if the blows thrown by Akaza had actually landed, with a panel showing what could have happened to Tanjiro had this been the case. I think another easy category would be experience. It's obvious that Akaza would take this point given that he lived his human life as a fighter and dedicated his demon life to growing in strength which spanned over 100 years. Therefore, it's fair to say that he has more experience than Gyomei in fighting. A more debated category would be battle IQ. We've established that Akaza is an extremely powerful and experienced individual, thus it would make sense to reason that he has a high battle IQ, which he does. He fights 2 Hashira level individuals at once, one of which uses sun breathing, and puts them on the back foot for most of the fight, overwhelming them with his speed and power. Gyomei, on the other hand, is only involved in fights where he is aided by others, which detracts from the weight of his contributions. This is not to say that Gyomei does not have a high battle IQ, however, it is more impressive and it requires more skill to fight multiple opponents than it does to fight one, hence battle IQ also goes to Akaza. Moving on to the next category, we have speed, which is difficult to gauge. Many reasons that Gyomei is faster than Akaza because in his base form, Gyomei kept up with Kokushibo and Kokushibo by default is faster than Akaza, and this is reasoning I must disagree with. Saying Gyomei kept up implies that they traded blow for blow, which was not the case. Gyomei only ended up injured by an upper May 1 who was not demonstrating the peak of his powers. Gyomei's demonstration of speed and other parts of the fight were not as valid as the former because it would be happening whilst he was receiving help from others. Even when fighting alongside a marked enemy, Gyomei is only able to slice the ear of Kokushibo whilst incurring damage from an attack his eyes did not even register. As for Akaza, Tanjiro points out his ability to adapt to the opponent instantly, specifically speed-wise. The longer Akaza fights with the marked Gyu, the less effect Gyu's attack and speed have on Akaza. Even if I gave this category to Gyomei for argument's sake, it would not be far-fetched to assume that Akaza would match his speed. Akaza's top speed is ambiguous due to his nature during fights, which is to enjoy and savor them. I'd be inclined to give this category to Akaza, but you could argue that Gyomei is the faster of the two. The final category is defense, and spoiler alert, this goes to Akaza. After the deployment of his compass technique, it becomes near impossible to land any fatal hits on him. His technique uses his opponent's battle spirit against him, something only Tanjiro was able to bypass for a second. Plus, when considering who to win against Akaza and Gyomei, you can't say a 100% Gyomei would possess this trait. If he did for a considerable amount of time, however, Gyomei would make light work of Akaza. Conclusively, I'd argue that Akaza's technique renders his defense to be the best in the Demon Slayer verse, excluding Yoriichi, Muzan, and Kokushibo. So how would the fight go? Assuming both went all out from the start, Gyomei would be able to access the see-through world, manifest the mark, and turn his weapons red. In response, Akaza would activate his compass technique, allowing him to adapt to Gyomei's speed and make it effectively impossible for Gyomei to land a fatal attack. They would trade a few blows with Akaza voicing his thoughts on Gyomei's fighting style, and from this point in the fight, it would become a battle of endurance and stamina. Akaza would gradually speed up and in turn gradually overwhelm Gyomei. Therefore, Akaza will take this fight with what I'd say is a mid to high difficulty, eventually giving Gyomei the Rengoku treatment. Even if you think Akaza would be decapitated by Gyomei, you have to remember that Akaza actually conquered death by decapitation and chose to halt his own regeneration, effectively committing suicide. So the bottom line is, you can't really kill the guy, and this video was a complete waste of time. If you're still here, thanks for watching till the end, and I rest my case. Oh, and if you think Gyomei would be able to hold out until daylight, assuming the fight starting in the middle of the night, then no, you're just wrong.